Tom said, I assume that guy's not gonna run the bulldozer the whole time.
I thought that beeping may have been a cue for me to wake up. Welcome. My name's Tom O'Toole Jr., and thank you all for being here today for our celebration. A special thank you to our elected dignitaries who took time out of their schedule. We'll hear from each one of those in a moment. I should commence with their introduction. Certainly the introduction he doesn't need, but the County Executive of St. Louis County, Dr. Sam Page. The First District Councilwoman, Rita Days. The 14th Senatorial District Senator, Brian Williams. Also at the dais, doesn't need any introduction in this community either, the President and CEO of Beyond Housing, my good friend Chris Kramer. A man who's been on this property for well over a decade, leads Walters Golf Management, also my good friend Jeff Smith. The leadership team in Normandie is also assembled, mostly here in the front row. Kurt Rowe, who's the Executive Director of the Metropolitan Amateur Golf Association. Rick Meyer, active member of the board of the Metropolitan Amateur Golf Association. Chris Anderson, who's a construction guru and evidenced by the fact he's in the background making sure everything comes off perfectly. Thank you, Chris. John Stupp from Stupp Brothers Bridge and Iron, well known, right there. Vince Reach from that famous law firm, Mickus O'Toole. Managing partner, I might add. And also my good friend Tom Sainer from the Smokehouse Market, Annie Guns. Members of the Metropolitan Amateur Golf Association Executive Board here today, in addition to Mr. Meyer, Mr. Mick Wellington, Mr. John Bew, and also one of my longtime friends, Mr. John Moore. How about that? When I became championship chair of the USGA, I was anointed by a guy named Walter Driver, who had been a past president of the USGA and a member of the USGA nominating committee. He pulled me aside and said, let me give you a tip. You're going to do a lot of public speaking. And when you do it, if your wife is present, don't overlook her. So ladies and gentlemen, my lovely wife, Julie O'Toole. And Julie, love you. Thanks for being here, and thanks for the contribution you and the boys have made to this journey. So glad you're here. So, why are we here? Let's put some context to it. Walter Hagen, Babe Ruth, Dizzy Dean, Mickey Rooney. Many legendary names have walked these fairways since they first opened in 1901. Those names and the memorable moments that have taken place here certainly make the story richer. But this isn't about restoring an historic course to its former glory or recreating the past. This is about moving our world forward to an underserved, predominantly black community and the greatest golfer of all time. This is about breaking new ground by transforming an underutilized community asset into a world-class Jack Nicklaus signature golf course to become a catalyst for progress and social change. By opening up the sport of golf and the lessons it teaches to a new generation of youth and others whose names and faces would otherwise not have the opportunity to play. By creating jobs, educational and career opportunities, and helping to further transform a community in need. In the end, this isn't about a golf course or the game of golf itself. It's bigger than that. It's about living up to our potential as a people, as a city, and as a metropolitan region. It's about St. Louis coming together around something we all can believe in, that we all can put our shoulders behind, to take bold new steps to create a better, more inclusive, and brighter future for all. So save that thought. We'll circle back at a close with a couple of key points. Before we go further and delve into this project, let's hear from the icon who, quite frankly, made this project possible.
A couple of years ago, when Tom O'Toole asked me to get involved in the reimagining of Normandie, I said, what is that, Tom? And he started explaining what the golf course was, what the community was, what they were trying to accomplish. And I said, I'm in. So here we are. You've now raised money for phase one. You go ahead and start building the golf course. I know you're having a groundbreaking today. I know a couple of my guys are there today. I know that Dr. Sam Page, St. Louis County Executive, is there. And I thank him for his support. I want to thank all of you who have supported the project to this point. But we've only got phase one. We've got to get the clubhouse built. We've got to get a teen center built. We've got a caddy house to build. Many youth programs we want to do there. The golf course is just the bones. What's going to happen there is what's going to help revolutionize the North County there in the St. Louis area. And I'm just proud to be part of it. I'm proud that Tom asked me to be involved. I know that you're going to end up with a really good golf course. I want to tell you something. The guys that did that golf course 120 years ago did a pretty darn good routing. We didn't change it very much. We just sort of modernized it, brought it up to date. And I think you're going to enjoy the golf course. It's going to be a good one. So I'm sorry I can't be with you today, but I will be up there shortly, and we're going to get on with it and do a good golf course for you, one I'm sure that you're going to enjoy, and one that's going to serve its purpose. So thanks all of you for participating. Thanks for your support. Look forward to seeing you soon at the new Jack Nicklaus Signature Golf Course there at Normandie.
That video is just really emblematic of Jack's commitment to this project. The fact that he waived his fee, the fact that he's been committed, and any time we've asked, we've had dinners here and hosted his honor. He's a special guy. Yes, he is the greatest golfer of all time, but he's made a unique commitment to a project that, as we continue to say, is about so much more than golf. He said a couple of the guys were here today. They're here. Chris Cochran, the chief designer, Nicklaus Design. Been with Jack 30 years, designed hundreds and hundreds of golf courses with him. He's been on the property since day one. Chris, thanks for being here. Doug Graham in the back is the shaper extraordinaire. We tried to figure out how we were going to build this golf course, but Jack said,
well, we need to have Doug Graham do the shaping, but I don't know that I can give you Doug Graham. I said, come on, Jack, this is for the kids in North County. Doug Graham's here. Thank you. So, I'm an Irish Catholic white guy. Why am I standing here? 35 years ago, to give you some perspective and context, I started a golf championship with others that allowed men, in that instance, of color, of less privilege, of less initiation, to come and play for a true championship. A year later, I, with others, Jim Holtgreaves here, we started the Metropolitan Amateur Golf Association because the organization at the time would not allow public golf courses to be members. They would not allow people of color with less privilege to play in their events. 35 years later, they said it would never last. Thanks to Kurt and again others, it's the largest golf association in this region. So why is that important? Here's why it's important. Because the same mantra, the same mission, the same motivation that caused us to pivot 35 years ago to change golf in St. Louis drives this project. It's probably my last stop along my golf journey, I suspect. But we will deliver this project. We will use those missions. We will use that logic as we have for 35 years. So yeah, I'm the Irish Catholic white guy. But we will continue to stand for what we've stood for 35 plus years of being welcoming, of being inclusive, of being open. That's what this project will represent. So as we planned for today, our team said, you got to give them a little context about the story. When I was still president of the USGA a long time ago, some guys came to me about restoring Normandie Golf Club. I grew up in South St. Louis, didn't have a great affection for this golf course, played junior golf here, but didn't have the following, was not part of the following that this wonderful piece of property has enjoyed. And I said, okay, well, how are you going to do that? Well, we have to raise the capital. The golf course was in disrepair, was dilapidated. You need a lot of money. We're going to raise the money. We're going to make it the best golf course, the best public golf course in St. Louis. I said, okay, so I assume you're going to have a for-profit model. That's right. And so you got to raise the capital, and I went to law school, not business school, but I think that means you need to create revenue that can service the debt of that capital if you borrow money, or make it a profitable enterprise. It seems to me that that means that the greens fees, the costs, are going to be at the highest end of public golf. Well, that's right, probably. So I somewhat crudely said, okay, well, if the strategy is to raise money to restore this gem, this treasure, so a bunch of white guys from West St. Louis County can come up there and play golf, I said, I don't see it. So it's a horrible idea, in my view. Thanked them for the meeting, left. A couple days later, I knew Jeff Smith had operated this property for more than a decade. I called him and said, is there another play here? Isn't there something? Anybody in this audience that knows me knows that I'm a big believer that there aren't really original thoughts. And I certainly didn't have any. But they have done this elsewhere. So isn't there a play for this community and for these kids to do something? We started the journey. Had to get the property from University of Missouri system. That took a long time. We got an option on the property, then COVID hit. You couldn't raise money. Got another option on the property to try to extend our chances. And finally, in November of 2020, I went to Florida with Julie and the boys, and we had occasion to meet with the Nicholases, and I had lunch with Jack at the Bears Club and said, would you help us? You heard what he said. So that's the genesis of why we're here, how we got there. But obviously, and I see Todd Schnook here, we're going to recognize him in a moment, but I always tell the story. I went to see him, and I said, Jack Nicklaus makes this project more viable. And he said, I knew you were doing a project. I called you when you got Jack Nicklaus. So where are we? We've raised it, or have pledged nearly $9 million. Because of our unique and contemplated water conservation on this property, the Department of Natural Resources of the state of Missouri has given us substantial financial support. And of course, Kara Simon and Angie Garcia are here for DNR. Thank you so much for that effort. And we have many of our donors here today. Kelly Wetzler from the Boniface Foundation is here, I think. I didn't see her, but they've been a big supporter, substantial support of this project. I mentioned the aforementioned Todd Schnook and Schnook's Market. The first check we got was from the Schnook family. Once again, what they do for St. Louis. Jim and Elizabeth Burgess and the Burgess Family Foundation. Jim's here with Kelly Pollock. Thank you so much for your support. Jim, we couldn't have done it without you. Go Irish. Bill Pope from the Pershing Foundation. Thank you, Bill. And we'll hear later from the President of the United States Golf Association. They made a substantial contribution. And many of you others here have written checks. So thank you for our donors. Again, we couldn't be at the end of phase one without it. I know the work has commenced, as you see the bulldozers. Jeff Budrovich from Budrovich Companies. I think Nick Rothy's here this morning. They've been an unbelievable partner to start this process and do phase one of the construction. So thank you. Now let's hear from those who came here at our request. Again, the leader of St. Louis County. We're so tickled that he took time out of his busy schedule, and even if you live under a rock, you know what's going on and all the things that are on this gentleman's plate in St. Louis County. For him to take time to come up here, I think hopefully because he sees the merit of this project, we're so appreciative to have him. Ladies and gentlemen, our county executive, Dr. Sam Page.
Wow. Well, good morning. What a great day for St. Louis County. This has been a long time coming, but it's at a point to celebrate as we overhaul this golf course and make it an asset, not just for St. Louis County, but as you heard, for the entire region. But what I really like about this reimagined golf course is it's a place where youth can come who would not normally have an opportunity to learn the game, but they're encouraged to come here. Baked into this new course is inclusion. And we've worked hard in St. Louis County to put our dollars to where they're needed the most. We know that decades of disinvestment isn't turned around in a moment, but we're committed to doing what it takes to turn the tide. And we're seeing those efforts throughout North County. And this is just one example. Today shows us what's possible with partnerships. So thank you to the Metropolitan Golf Association to Jack Nicholas and his team, to Beyond Housing, a frequent partner of St. Louis County. But working together, we're creating a brighter future for everyone. We're breaking down barriers and we're building excitement. We're living up to Opportunity Central, our new theme. And we're looking forward to returning to the reimagined Normandie course and giving it our best shot, or maybe some shots, but hopefully not a bogey. Not too many. The partnership to overhaul this historic course is just a shining example of progress and social change. So thank you to everyone who has made this possible today.
Dr. Page, thank you. Means a lot to us, again, for you to be here and those remarks. Next, I'd like to ask to come to the podium the councilwoman from the 1st District right here in Belle Noire in the 24-1 footprint. She doesn't need an introduction. Our good friend, Rita Days.
Good morning. Good morning. Y'all have to do a little bit better than that. I mean, this is a celebration, people. Good morning. Good morning. All right. This is a game changer. Would you agree with that? Yes. This will be a game changer for Normandie. This is the Normandie Golf Club, Normandie Golf Club, okay? But I also have to make sure that I recognize the other folks that are around here. You know, this is St. Louis, so Greendale is over there. Actually, in Belle Noire. But anyway, we are breaking ground this morning for a Renaissance project. And this will absolutely change the trajectory of St. Louis County, the 1st County Council District in North St. Louis County. This will be an opportunity, an additional opportunity for our children in the 24-1 footprint to avail themselves of the opportunities to play this game. I want to thank the Metropolitan Golf Foundation. Tom O'Toole, thank you so much. The videos were very, very heart-rendering. And I said, I don't want to stand up here and cry, but I'm close. All right? But anyway, to Jack Nicholas for his commitment to this. And as said earlier, he didn't have to do this, but he did. Chris Kramer, who kind of shepherded all of this together and put all of these pieces in place and made sure everybody was where they need to be. And all the other funding partners that we have, again, this is a partnership. This cannot be done by one. You know, we are very small municipalities around here, and without the kind of cooperation and partnerships, this would not happen. So at this point, I want to make sure that you all understand who we are. Everyone in the 24-1 footprint, if you're represented here, would you please stand so these folks understand who you are? That's my posse, all right? I heard the concerns. Oh my God, look at how brown the grass is. Oh, they took out all the trees. I heard this in the grocery stores. I heard it on next door. I said, you know, as I'm saying here, like I said, let's be patient. A project like this does not happen overnight. And so we have to depend on the professionals to do what they know to do and to do it how it's supposed to be done. And that's what we have today. It's much like the track and field facility that I am trying to bring on board. I have to depend on subject matter experts to make sure. I don't know how to design a golf course. I don't know how to build one. I don't even play golf. But I will tell you this. I'm the person that you want to see on a hot day because I drive a mean beverage cart. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, this is just a momentous opportunity. This is for our children. This is for the future of the children who are here now. We know that they have basketball and football and maybe baseball, But golfing is a unique opportunity. As I said earlier, it's a learning opportunity. And so we want to expand what our children do, what they know, and how they do that. So this will not be an eyesore. This will not be houses all over this facility. This will be a jewel, another jewel in the First County Council District in North St. Louis County. So again, I thank you all the partners that are here that's participating in this process. Again, I thank you so much. I thank you for having the vision for the future of this area. Thank you.
Where's Rita when you need a speechwriter? Wow. Well said, Councilwoman. And let's next hear from the 14th Senatorial District, a man that's heard from me on this project more than he would like to admit, and caucused with me several times, but a leader in this North County region, our Senator, Brian Williams.
I'm not going to tell y'all how many text messages I've gotten from Tom over the years. And most of the time when he texts me, it's just Brian, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Yes. Really quick, I cannot reiterate what Rita Day just said. Could we please just have all of our partners, our elected officials, please stand up and be recognized again, because it was not. Also, it's really important. I saw that video for the first time, and I remember being in a room brainstorming with John Stupp, and I think Ricky, you might have been there. Jay Delsing was there. So many other people. Kurt, all you guys were there. And Rita's right. It was very moving. And Tom's talked about all the white guys, so I guess I'll talk about the black guys.
That's why we got you.
You see why I didn't respond to those text messages? No, and then of course our good friend Chris Craymeyer, who's been just an important piece to this as well. County Executive Page and my really good friend Jeff Smith. Thank you for what you've contributed to this community. Now we heard a lot about the rich history of this course and famous players who have made their mark here over the past century. Meanwhile, the history of golf in its entirety has greatly been impacted by the talents and the contributions of black men and women. And I'm wearing a suit at a golf course. I think the last time I wore a suit to a golf course was with Ord and Kimbrough. But some of those black men and women were people like Theodore Rhodes, who was widely known as the first black professional golfer playing in the US Open in 1946. And that was a conversation I had with my grandfather when I told him where I was going today, who was born September 29th, 1929. He turned 95 this year. Nearly 2 decades later, Charlie Sifford became the first black player to compete on the PGA Tour. And then in the years since then, black men and women have contributed greatly to this game, including Chase Johnson, a PGA pro who visited St. Louis last year to promote this sport. And then today we celebrate not only the players of the past, but our next generation of players who would one day set foot on these greens. Revitalizing this course in North St. Louis County would open opportunities to area youth while creating a destination attraction for players from all over the country and the world. They'll come and play, but they also feel the history of this place. And it'll shape the future of golf, but it'll also shape the future of our community, our region, and our country. And that's why I want to thank everyone here at USGA. I want to thank everyone, the Metropolitan Golf Association, and the generous donors who have contributed to many more, and who will continue, Tom, to contribute to after today's event. This is a big win for the city of Normandy. This is a big win for North St. Louis County. This is a big win for the St. Louis region. And we need to be very proud of that. We also need to take time to recognize that there's been so many people behind the scenes that have contributed to the design of this site. And I see a lot of my friends from Lamar Johnson Collaborative. Can you all stand up and be recognized for a second? They didn't see that coming, but I get to work with these people a little bit, and they're so smart, and to see the work that they have contributed to this, following the leadership of the folks at Clayco and Bob Clark. But again, thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for your contribution to this project. Thank you for your contribution to all the efforts that's been here. Just please remember, use this as an opportunity to build on what we've started today. Understand that life moves at the speed of relationships, and I am so grateful to have a relationship with every single one of you.
Senator Williams, thank you. Well said. So, when we embarked on this project, again, I told you I grew up in South St. Louis. I said, look, nobody knows Tom O'Toole in North County. I got to find somebody in the community, somebody in the neighborhood that can join forces, go shoulder to shoulder with us and tell the story. Somebody asked me if I knew Chris Krameyer, Beyond Housing. I said, oh, I've heard of Beyond Housing and their work, but I don't know. I went and saw him at a meeting. He and I went over to Tom George at the University of Missouri. But he said, let me put you in my car some morning and I'll take you around here. It's remarkable. And what Beyond Housing has given this golf association and this effort the credibility that it needs in this region. Again, I watched people come here this morning and seek Chris out because what he's done for this community. It's remarkable. So, I also got a good friend out of this project that I didn't have when I started. So, I'd like to now bring to the podium my friend, our partner, the president and the CEO of Beyond Housing, Chris Kramer.
Thanks, Tommy. Appreciate it. So, when you further down the dais, a whole bunch of folks already said what I was going to say, so I'm just going to make some stuff up here in a minute. So, a couple things. Some of you may have heard the phrase 24-1, and some of you may know what that is. Let me real quickly make sure everyone knows what that is. 24-1 is an initiative with the 24 municipalities, former 24 municipalities, and the boundaries of the Normandie Schools Collaborative. The leadership of those communities, and a whole bunch of folks stood up there represented, but including in that group stuff, I believe I counted 7 mayors. Like, we're in the St. Louis region, whose 7 mayors come together for one thing. It doesn't happen. The 2 mergers ever in St. Louis County history happened where? Up here. We have 3 police departments serving 15 communities, 3 court hubs serving 15 communities. On the April ballot in 2025, 17 communities are working together to create a transportation development district. Too often in this region, we don't recognize and applaud the great things that are happening. We're too ready to bemoan the things that we feel aren't working right. We need to celebrate not only this beautiful course here behind us, but the work that the leadership up here in North County is doing. People have said, oh, we got to have folks working together. Well, guess what? These leaders have been doing this for over a decade. We meet every month. We meet twice a month, right? Because folks want to work together. They understand this community is only going to get healthy and strong if we work together, right? We believe at Beyond Housing this notion of once and for all in the St. Louis region, can we invest in the people and places that have been left behind for far too long? You've heard several times, this is, yes, about a golf course, but it's really about this community. And what that community is an amalgamation of a whole bunch of folks. Different neighborhoods, different communities, different municipalities. If you drive literally through one stoplight, Beyond Housing is building 36 brand new homes in the city of Pagedale, literally one street light away. Did you know there was a 4-screen, 375-seat movie theater 2 lights away? And right next to that was a health facility. Across the street from that was a food hall with 3 restaurants and a pub. There's another small business center right down the street from that. Did you know that Beyond Housing, all of our partners, many who are in the room, have invested over $200 million in this community across a wide spectrum of housing, economic development, education, transportation, jobs, you name it, we do. We have a forestry department. Again, too often in St. Louis, we're ready to talk about things that don't work. We should be able to celebrate and say there are good things happening. And once and for all, can we think about investing differently? Look at this. Who thought this would have happened? Who thought the greatest golfer of all time would come to Normandy and do this? It's the power of what's possible. If we have the courage to believe, if we have the courage to change the way we think about our region and have the courage to do things differently. I'll close with this. The amount of time that my friend Tommy and Smitty spent on this thing, it's hard to imagine. How many years, gentlemen? 5, 6?
8, a lot.
Yeah, a lot, right? These guys have quietly, humbly dedicated themselves to making this happen. This doesn't happen without these 2 guys, right? A lot of other folks, I don't want to miss anybody, but these 2 guys have been the drivers. As Tommy said, we didn't know each other. I didn't know either one of them. I go to war with these guys. They care, they're smart, they're diligent, and because of them, we're going to have a Jack Nicklaus signature design golf course in the 24-1 footprint. Thank you very much.
Somewhere along the way, somebody told me a good bit of advice. Pick good partners. We picked a good partner. Thank you, Chris. Now let's finish with phase 2 of what we're doing. I see Jay Delsing here. He was nice enough to have me on his radio show last weekend, and just to give another frame of context, buried my father 8 years ago on Friday when we taped the show. And so he said, how long have you been doing this? I said, well, when we started this, Dad was alive. So it has been a long time. And Jay, thanks for all your support. You know, God rest his soul. We always said Jay Randolph Jr. was the voice of golf in St. Louis. And man, did he love Normandy. Pass the mantle to you, Jay. Thanks. So let's show a little bit about what the Senator preempted us and what the folks at Clayco and Lamar Johnson Collaborative have collaborated and delivered. You know, Bob Clark grabbed me at Tony's one day on the patio and said, I want to know more about this project. Again, he was going off to Dubai to serve that role for our government. But what Bob Clark, Tom Seekhouse, Clayco, Lamar Johnson Collaborative, and of course those here today, Laura Stock, Lance McLowan, Nick Smith, Sarah Doriani, and Matt Marizana have done for this project, you're going to see in a moment. A lot has gone on here, a lot with the Nicholas Group, a lot to restore and transform the property. But I had a conversation with Bob one time and he said, well, you got to build a clubhouse. And I said, yeah, you know, something simple. Just something up here on the clapboard or something that we can afford. He said, that's where you missed it. Not the first person that told me that. He said, this is the communities. This needs to be a statement. This is sitting smack on the corner of St. Charles Rock Road in Normandie Drive. This will be, and you'll hear from here to the end about how much this is the community's asset. We need to build something that makes a statement. And what has been designed and laid out here is that statement. So again, Lance, Laura, all the team at Clayco and LJC, we're so proud to have you as our partner. And let me share another somewhat pertinent part. At zero cost to the project. Thank you. So where do we finish phase 2? Well, this is it. Look at this clubhouse. We need infrastructure to serve the programs that we purport to deliver here. Got to have a clubhouse, a maintenance facility. So we told you what we've raised and pledged. We probably need 20 million plus an endowment to finish this off. Yeah, we could have built something less expensive here in the corner for a clubhouse. But again, I'm persuaded by Mr. Clark's point that we need to make a statement for this community. So we will build an endowment in addition to raising the rest of the money to build the infrastructure. We've retained recently a fundraising consultant to help us with phase 2. Let's Build Hope. And Linda Haley and her crew are going to help us take this thing the rest of the way in. Let's talk a little bit before we go to the dirt about the programs. And many of those folks are here today. The First Tee of St. Louis, again, this will be their flagship venue. I know the new executive director, Mary Swanson, is here, and the president, Ryan Hildebrand. Thank you. No bigger philanthropic effort in golf is known worldwide than the First Tee. We'll be proud to have them here at Normandie. The Western Golf Association and the Evans Scholar Program. Many of the directors here, Jerry knows, my longtime legal colleague, Steve Weldling, Pat Riley, Matt Kopsky. Ladies and gentlemen, the Western Golf Association has pledged a program where every caddy fee will be, the cost of that will be absorbed by the WGA. All the golfer has to do is tip the caddy. Just think of that for a minute. The experience these young men and women will have here. The young men and women from this community here being mentored by people in the game. And then the beauty of it, if you know the program about the Evans Scholars and Chick Evans, the Western Golf Association has homes on many college campuses around the country and have one at the University of Missouri. Interestingly enough, most of the kids in that home come from another region. Why? Because many of the caddies that are caddying at my club or at Rick Meyer's club or at Tom Sainerd's club, they don't qualify for the Evans Scholarship. Every child, boy and girl, that caddies here will qualify for that scholarship if they meet the requirements of the caddy. The number of rounds they have to caddy, and the cart rounds will also take caddies with them, and those qualify. This is one of the greatest programs. And what the young man or young girl will get out of that will be a college education, because they were availed of that program that these gentlemen here representing the WGA have championed for decades. This will be, as Rita said, a game changer for education and kids in this community. The Missouri Golf Foundation is here this morning, and what they do in setting up golf for those less privileged, less fortunate. Alan Dombrowski, Mike Dixon, Roger Ellis, Mark Bolin, and I guess what's arguably the greatest amateur ever to come from St. Louis, Jim Holtgreave. So another program that will be here, the Fellowship of the Christian Athletes. I think Michael Henson's here today. They will have a program here. The Boys and Girls Club, Incarnate Word Academy, the girls golf program there right down the street. And the Normandie Schools Collaborative. We had a trial run in the caddy program at Belle Reve this summer, where young people went out and caddied at Belle Reve to prepare for the experience they'll have here at Normandie. Are any of those young people here this morning? Would they stand up? Guys, stand up. Thank you. Sharon Gerkens here, the president of Incarnate Word? She left. See you, Sharon. Let me tell you what she told me one time. I'm going to get in trouble for doing this, but now that she's gone, I got the green light. She said that if we don't redevelop this golf course, and I think most of you know we have a deed restricted on it, so it's green space for a golf course. As Rita said, there's not going to be houses back here. We're not having commercial development. If we don't develop this golf course, her school could go away. Now, this is a successful, nationally ranked, iconic girls' school in our community. We can't let that go away. And here's the beauty. The rates that Jeff Smith and Walters Golf charged when we closed the golf course, when the Metropolitan Golf Foundation closed the golf course in December of 2023, those rates of that golf course in that condition that we kept together with a Band-Aid, Jeff and his team, we're going to charge the same rates when we open. That's the pledge we have to you. And as we've tried to fundraise, what a fun potential fundraising prospects ask. Can this thing break even? I said, well, let me just show you the guy that's run the property for a decade. This isn't a pro forma. These are actuals. This is what this project can perpetuate, including all the programs that we talk about, all those tenants that will be here utilizing this facility. It still breaks even and makes money. So thanks to Jeff for that. A couple other shout outs this morning. Ricky Nix and Butler's Pantry, the iconic St. Louis culinary experts, have provided the food this morning again. How? At no cost to the project. So the Butler's Pantry and Ricky Nix, thank you so much. So in addition to the dais and Mayor Anna Vogel, let's go and do what we came here for this morning. Let's break some ground. Let's hear from the President of the United States Golf Association.
This project represents a new chapter for golf, one that is centered on inclusion and opportunity. The USGA is committed to making this game accessible to all, especially in communities that have often been overlooked. With my own journey and experiences, I feel a deep responsibility to champion efforts like this, which bring golf to young people and families in North County, St. Louis. Through the incredible support of Jack Nicklaus, who joined us in this mission without a fee, we're making a statement that goes way beyond golf. And while I wish I could be there in person, please know my support and the commitment of the USGA to this project are unwavering. Golf has the power to drive change, inspiring and positively impacting lives in meaningful ways. In my own life, long before I was a golfer, golf was changing my life. A group of golfers in my hometown of Nassau decided to invest in young people from an underserved community, to give a scholarship to help us go to college. And I was one of those kids. Imagine how that changed my life. We know that golf and golfers can change lives. We feel a responsibility not just to build a better game of golf, but to help people build better lives through golf. I want to thank Tom O'Toole, without whose support I could not imagine sitting in this seat. We know that over time, all of St. Louis will be better because of the work you are doing. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Fred. In closing, you heard it from the top political leaders of this region, including the county executive of St. Louis County. You heard it from the greatest golfer of all time. And you just heard it from the first black president of the United States Golf Association. Ladies and gentlemen, this is real. We have anxiously awaited this day for a very long time, when we see bulldozers shaping a new beginning. We're so ecstatic for what has been accomplished. In case you haven't noticed, we're building a golf course. As Jack Nicklaus so aptly said, our work is not done. We need to complete the Phase 2 fundraise so we can build the infrastructure, the clubhouse, the maintenance facility that will house and deliver those youth programs and that will serve this community. As the video said, this is really about so much more than golf. Wow, isn't that true? It's about transforming an underutilized community asset to be a catalyst for progress and social change, and to further transform a community in need. A community that this man, Mr. Kramer, has spent his life revitalizing. Why? For the community. Not for Tom O'Toole, not for the Normandie team, for you, for your children. It is your asset when we're finished. So let me close with this thought. Today we celebrate that thanks to many, many people, to our donors, to Jack Nicklaus, Phase 1 of our dream has become a reality. But we need to complete the journey. Doesn't this story tug at your heartsleeves? I've not encountered one single person that says this is a bad idea or that this project lacks merit. In fact, we've seen the converse. You think this project doesn't matter? Look at this outpouring today. This community and its leaders have an affinity for this property, for this place. So, together, let's finish what we started. So help us. Be our advocates. Tell the story. Save this asset. Finish this for our youth. My heartfelt pledge today, when, not if, we complete this project, all of it, I promise you, we will forever change this community. And we will forever change the lives of youth in North St. Louis County and beyond. So that's the goal. Save the asset, and through our programs, redirect the lives of our youth. Sound laudable? Let's go do it. Thank you all for being here today. A special thanks to our dignitaries who took time out of their schedules to be here. Lunch will be served. Should the press care to meet, we can do that in the sidebar. And ladies and gentlemen, God bless you all, and may God bless Normandie Reimagined.